Have you ever felt as if your mind was a storm, thousands of thoughts colliding into one another, leaving you restless, unable to breathe, unable to rest? And in those moments, have you ever asked yourself, where can I find true peace? How can I discover stillness within my soul? Today, I want to share with you the story of Soren, a young man who wrestled with his restless mind, and how a single, simple lesson from a wise old man changed his life forever. Long ago, in a small village tucked away among endless green mountains, there lived a 24-year-old young man named Soren. But Soren was never at peace. His mind was crowded, always filled with tangled, noisy thoughts. Sometimes, he drowned in regret over mistakes of the past. Other times, he was consumed with fear of a future that had not yet come. These thoughts beat against him, like waves crashing endlessly upon a fragile shore. He could no longer sleep well. He no longer remembered how to smile. And sometimes, he even forgot the simple joy of just being alive. Everything around him felt heavy, gray, suffocating. One day, Soren heard whispers of a faraway village, high in the hills. They said an old man lived there. Once, he had been a famous psychologist in the city, a man who had guided countless souls through their suffering and taught them how to rediscover peace within their own minds. Now, in the twilight of his years, he had left behind the noise, the rush, the endless demands of city life, to live quietly in nature. And sometimes, just sometimes, he still offered wisdom to those who were willing to seek him. When Soren heard this, a spark of hope flickered inside his weary heart. Maybe this wise old man can help me. Maybe he can show me how to find the peace I have lost. So Soren began his journey. He walked winding mountain paths. He climbed steep hills. He passed through villages, step after step. Each step was heavy with exhaustion. Yet he carried within him a fragile but steady flame of hope. After many long, difficult days, he finally reached the hilltop village. And there, hidden beneath the shade of quiet trees, he saw a small house. On the porch sat the old man, eyes half closed, face calm, serene, like the still surface of a silent lake. Soren stepped forward, bowed slightly, and spoke softly. "Grandfather, my mind is restless. I cannot stop thinking. I long for peace in my heart. Can you help me?" The old man slowly opened his eyes and smiled with kindness. "So, you seek peace? Then come with me. I will give you a simple task." The old man led Soren into the yard. There, he filled a glass of water to the very brim, so full that even the slightest shake would spill it. He handed the glass to Soren and said, "Take this glass of water, walk from here to the edge of the village, and return. But remember, not a single drop must be spilled." Soren was surprised, yet he nodded and accepted the challenge. He held the glass carefully with both hands and began to walk slowly, step by cautious step. The road was crowded. People passed by. Children laughed and played. Dogs barked. Shopkeepers shouted to their customers. But Soren did not see or hear any of it. His eyes were locked only on the fragile glass in his hands. Each step, his heart pounded. Each step, his mind narrowed to one thought: do not spill the water, not a single drop. At last, he returned to the porch. Sweat rolled down his forehead, but his voice carried pride as he said, "Grandfather, I did it. Not a single drop was lost." The old man smiled and asked, "Very good, but tell me, did you see the children playing on the roadside? Did you hear the barking dogs, the noise of the world around you?" Soren looked puzzled. "No, I saw and heard nothing. I was focused only on the glass." The old man's smile grew gentle, and he spoke softly. "That, my son, is the secret. When your mind is rooted in the present moment, there is no space for fear, no space for sorrow, no room for restless thoughts. Peace is not found outside. It has always been within you." Soren stood in silence, and in that silence, understanding washed over him. All this time, he had searched everywhere, but peace was never a distant place. It was here, it was now, waiting inside his own heart. He bowed his head, his voice trembling. "Grandfather, now I understand. If I want my mind to be calm, I must keep it here, in this very moment. Only then does true peace arrive." The old man smiled once more. By then, the sun was sinking behind the mountains. Golden light spilled across the earth. Birds were flying home to their nests, and the sky itself seemed to whisper, "Peace." Soren walked down the path toward home. But he was no longer the restless young man he once had been. Inside him, a seed of serenity had taken root. He had learned the greatest lesson of all. To master the mind is to discover peace. My friend, peace is not far away. It does not live in the past. It does not wait in the future. It is here. It is now, in this very moment. If this story touched your heart, please click like, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more inspiring stories like this one. Thank you for walking with us. And until we meet again in the next story, may you stay calm, stay centered, and stay at peace.